New Jerusalem, the city that descends from heaven. Let's talk about what the Bible actually says this city will look like, because the specifics are more extraordinary than most people realize. Revelation 21 and 22. John sees the new heaven and new earth after the old creation has passed away, and then he sees it. The holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. This imagery of a bride is not just poetic. It reflects the deep relationship and commitment between God and His people. It symbolizes hope, purity, and the culmination of God's promise of redemption. As we delve deeper into the details of this magnificent city, we must keep in mind that this is not merely a vision, it is the promise of what is to come for those who follow Christ. First, the dimensions, and these are not symbolic. The angel measures the city precisely. Revelation 21:16. The city is a perfect cube. Its length and width and height are equal, 12,000 stadia in each direction. A stadia is approximately 600 feet. 12,000 stadia is approximately 1,380 miles. Let's call it 1,400 miles. So the city is 1,400 miles wide, 1,400 miles long, and 1,400 miles tall. To put that in perspective, the distance from New York City to Dallas, Texas is about 1,500 miles. New Jerusalem would cover nearly the entire landmass of the continental United States in every direction. Imagine a city so vast that it could stretch from the East Coast to the West Coast, enveloping the heart of America in its embrace. And then it would rise 1,400 miles into the sky. Just to illustrate further, the International Space Station orbits the Earth at 250 miles above the surface. New Jerusalem would extend 5 times higher than that. Can you grasp the magnitude of this? The city would tower over everything we know, a divine monument to God's glory and sovereignty. This is not metaphor. This is not poetry. This is architecture. The angel measured it with a measuring rod of gold. The precision of the measurements conveys the intentionality of God's design. There is a divine order, a structure that reflects the character of God Himself, perfect, unchanging, and eternal. Second, the walls. The walls are 144 cubits thick. A cubit is about 18 inches, making the walls approximately 216 feet thick, made of jasper, a gemstone that in its most brilliant form is crystal clear. This means that the walls do not merely serve to keep out intruders. They reflect the light of God's glory in a way we can hardly imagine. The clarity of jasper indicates purity and perfection, representing God's holiness. The city itself is pure gold, but it is described as pure gold, as pure as glass, transparent gold, luminescent, unlike anything we have ever seen or touched. Can you picture streets that sparkle, a cityscape that shines with a radiance that dazzles the eye? In New Jerusalem, the very fabric of the city speaks of wealth and beauty, but in a way that is completely unlike our own world. What we consider precious and valuable here is merely the building material of heaven. We hoard gold and silver, but there, they pave the streets. Third, the foundations. The 12 foundations of the city walls are each decorated with a different precious stone: jasper, sapphire, agate, emerald, onyx, ruby, chrysolite, beryl, topaz, chrysoprase, jacinth, amethyst. 12 layers of gemstone foundations, each one named after one of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Imagine walking on streets that are supported by the legacy of those who dedicated their lives to preaching the gospel. Think about what this means. The very ground of New Jerusalem is built on the testimony of those who gave their lives to proclaim the name of Jesus. Each stone tells a story of faith, hope, and sacrifice. A testimony to the faithfulness of God throughout history, a reminder of the price paid for our salvation. Fourth, the gates. 12 gates, 3 on each side, north, south, east, and west. Each gate is attended by an angel. Each gate is named after one of the 12 tribes of Israel. This signifies that God's promises extend not just to the apostles, but to His entire chosen people throughout history. The gates stand as a reminder of God's covenant faithfulness to Israel and to all who are grafted in through Christ. And here is the detail that gave us the phrase, pearly gates. Revelation 21:21. Each gate was made of a single pearl large enough to serve as a gate for a city 1,400 miles wide. Each pearl signifies the immense beauty and value of entering this city, emphasizing that the entrance to New Jerusalem is not only grand, but also signifies the incredible worth of the life we are invited into. It is a stark contrast to the narrow, often difficult paths we tread on earth, inviting us to consider the richness of our eternal home. Fifth, the streets. The great street of the city was pure gold, like transparent glass. Imagine walking on streets so magnificent that they glimmer and shine, reflecting the glory of God. Everything in this city that we consider precious and rare, gold, pearls, precious gems, is the building material. What we hoard and fight over on earth is used as pavement in heaven. This serves to remind us that earthly treasures are temporary, while the riches of heaven are eternal and abundant. Sixth, the light. Revelation 21:23. The city does not need the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives it light, and the Lamb is its lamp. No darkness, ever. Not at midnight, not in winter. The glory of God is the constant, inexhaustible source of light. Revelation 22:5 confirms. There will be no more night. This is a profound shift from our earthly experience, where darkness can often symbolize fear, uncertainty, and despair. In New Jerusalem, darkness has no place. The light of God not only illuminates but transforms. As we move through the city, we will not be constrained by time or the cycles of day and night. We will bask in the everlasting light of His presence, a light that brings joy and peace, free from the shadows of this world. Seventh, the river and the tree of life. Revelation 22:1-2. The angel shows John the river of the water of life, as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb down the middle of the great street of the city. Water is often a symbol of life, and here we see it flowing directly from the source, God Himself. This river is not just any water, it is the water of life, sustaining, purifying, and refreshing. On each side of the river stands the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, yielding its fruit every month. The tree of life. Last seen in Genesis 3, when God placed cherubim with a flaming sword to guard it after Adam and Eve were expelled from Eden. In New Jerusalem, the tree of life is accessible again, to everyone. This restoration of access to the tree of life symbolizes the full reconciliation between God and humanity, and the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations. In a world so often filled with division and strife, the healing provided by the leaves of this tree speaks to God's desire for wholeness and unity among His people. It embodies the promise that in heaven all wounds will be healed and every tear wiped away. Eighth, the most stunning detail of all, Revelation 21:3. A loud voice from the throne says, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and He will dwell with them. They will be His people, and God Himself will be with them and be their God." For all of human history, we have been separated from God. After Eden, the glory of God was veiled behind the curtain of the temple. It was unapproachable, holy, terrifying. In New Jerusalem, that separation ends forever. God Himself comes to live with us, not represented by a temple or an ark or a high priest once a year, but present, dwelling, among. Imagine the reality of God walking among us, talking to us, and sharing in our joys and sorrows. Revelation 22:4 says, "They will see His face to face with God, forever." This is the ultimate restoration, the culmination of all that God has been working toward since the fall of man. This is what Jesus promised in John 14:2 when He said, "In my Father's house are many rooms. I am going to prepare a place for you." This is the place He has been preparing. 1,400 miles of luminous gold, 12 gates of pearl, gemstone foundations, a crystal river, the tree of life, and God Himself living in the neighborhood forever. This is not mythology. This is prophecy. It is real. It is coming. And if you belong to Jesus Christ, it is your future. Can you feel the weight of that promise? Can you grasp the enormity of what lies ahead for those who have placed their trust in Him? Comment, secret below, if this gave you hope. Subscribe. The truth is hidden in plain sight.